Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Big GWOAT to big Ozempic, the magical weight loss. Everybody is paying attention to Big GWOAT, how she's coming down from over 200 pounds to 160, following the weight loss journey. And it's seeing some results, but a lot of fans, a lot of observers are wondering, how in the world is Big GWOAT losing big weight in a short period of time? Could it be big Ozempic? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think there's any magical concoction that she's taking to help her lose weight. But I will tell you, this is the thing. Claressa got started with this weight loss journey a while ago. You see, she slipped up and spilled the beans. Now, I'm not making it up. We'll just listen to her words, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to kind of paint a picture here before we get into the breakdown. But listen to what she says right here.
For this particular fight, is that something that you worry about a little bit as a boxer? Because we know that obviously different weight classes mean different styles of fighting at times. And you know what I mean? The fact that your body fluctuates through weight classes can make a difference in your performance, yes?
Listen to what he said. Talked about the body fluctuating through weight class can affect performances. Now listen to what she says.
Losing weight can definitely make a difference in your performance. That's why I started camp so early for this.
She says, I started camp so early for this. Listen to what she says.
This fight. We 7 weeks out, 47 days right now, but I've been in camp for about at least a good 12 weeks.
She said, we're 7 weeks out, but I've been in camp for a good 12 weeks already. Fat girl camp. And that is the kind of camp that a lot of fighters have. They come in, they start to work on getting the weight down early so that they can actually allocate a full 12 weeks to polishing their skill and getting ready for the fight. So Claressa, 12 weeks for the fight, well, she said 7 weeks out. So 12, so she would have had a 20-week training camp. So for about 8 of those weeks, so 12 of those weeks, cutting the weight and doing little lights up, but cutting weight. Now, these aren't my words. Just listen.
Already. What I'm saying, like, it's going to be a full 12 weeks by the time the fight comes. So, the camp,
she says it would have been a full 12 weeks by the time the fight comes. I'm gonna let it play, and I'm not going to interrupt it. She's trying to correct herself because she realizes she just told the whole world that she's been in fat girl camp.
Through weight classes can make a difference in your performance, yes?
Losing weight can definitely make a difference in your performance. That's why I started camp so early for this fight. We 7 weeks out, 47 days right now, but I've been in camp for about at least a good 12 weeks already. What I'm saying, like, it's going to be a full 12 weeks by the time the fight comes. So I gave myself extra time to lose the weight. I've been meal prepping for a month.
Then she says, I gave myself extra time to lose the weight. You see, nothing, listen to that, nothing what she just said makes any sense. Now, if it makes sense to y'all, then y'all got to explain to me in the comments. So listen to this again.
Make a difference in your performance, yes?
Losing weight can definitely make a difference in your performance. That's why I started camp so early for this fight. We 7 weeks out, 47 days right now, but I've been in camp for about at least a good 12 weeks already. What I'm saying, like, it's going to be a full 12 weeks by the time the fight comes. So I gave myself extra time to lose the weight. I've been meal prepping for a month, drinking a gallon of water every day for a month. So we got 47 more days. So I think that making the 160 weight class, it won't be easy, but once it's made, I know that I'll still, fight how I fight and dominate how I dominate, because I'm still keeping my power and doing my strength conditioning training and working out multiple times a day. So it's all.
I'm far from slow. And I'll say this. She's been fighting for a long time. Big GWOAT knows how to cut weight. But there's no need to come and be ashamed of having to be in a fat girl camp. Because we've been following her. We understand what she was looking like. You know what I'm saying? we know that she had a lot to weight to get off. Like, we're not making anything up on her. You know, it is what it is. See, you can look right there and see that Big GWOAT had some weight to lose. You know what I'm saying? Quite a bit of weight. So this whole thing about how she losing the weight, look, I'm gonna tell you, she started a long ways out, but this stuff about Ozempic and all that, who knows? You never know. Because when you see her still out here, you know, carrying on and eating all kind of food, it just makes you wonder, what kind of discipline does she have? And will she be tempted now to possibly look for shortcuts? Because she was out here eating and smacking on videos.
What lady interview you talking about? I haven't done an interview with a lady who asked me about Pat being upstairs. I don't think. It's an interview? Yeah, I know it's getting close to fight time when I put the braids in. The hair I had in wasn't gonna make it. Wasn't gonna make it. I done had a few different hairstyles. February.
So y'all get the picture? She been out here grubbing for a while. And that's why people think that she may be taking shortcuts. So when you see her out here trying to put in this work and running stairs and all and stuff like that, some people are just like, man, this may not be enough, because she has come down in weight. And I'm gonna show y'all an image of her. She's come down in weight. But look at her right here. And I am not trying to make fun. What I'm saying is, this is a recent a video of her running stairs, running bleachers, right? Everybody who played sports in school, especially if you played football, we've all had to run bleachers. But this is recent. So you can look and see that she looked kind of big, kind of plump. And that's why people are saying, how the hell did she go from that? You know what I'm saying? Let me let y'all finish this video up. You know, running these bleachers. So now they're saying she's running the bleachers. How'd she go from that to getting slim? And I'm going to show you that. Some people are saying she's just posting this stuff and she's not really training hard. She's just trying to give the illusion that she's really putting in the hard work and dedication to get down to 160, when in actuality, she's taking these weight loss drugs. They're like, how come she's not showing a full 1-2 hour workout? How come she's not going live for the whole duration of a workout? She's just giving us snippets. Look, I can't answer that. But what I can tell you is she's coming down in weight. This is her right here. Let me fix this. Okay. She's coming down in weight. She's going to take it off. I tell you, man, she lose weight, she's going to show off her body. So there she go. You see? So she is coming down in weight. And she letting the world know that she's slimming down. Still look kind of thick, and but she's trimming down for sure. But this is how she's looking now. You know what I'm saying? This picture right here, and let me not stretch it out. Let me give it to you the way. This is what she's looking like now. You understand? So people are looking at this right here and they're saying, hey, yo, hood champion, what the F? How did she get down to this weight to this side so fast. Let me show you what's really getting people. Let me show y'all what really has people head spinning. The abs. They're like, ain't no way. There's no way that she goes from being this right here, ain't no way, to all of a sudden being this right here. She has abs. Where'd those come from? Look at how small her legs look. Look at everything that's come down. They're like, nah, this is bullshit. So I'll tell you this, right? Because I respect the sport, I know what these athletes put themselves through. And even you all as a common day male and female, if you go and work out, if you've been on a weight loss journey, you know if you commit and you do things the right way, your body will change. But I understand how someone's looking and saying, damn, it seems like this is a magical weight loss for Big GWOAT. And I'm looking and I understand what the commitment and dedication can do. But I also am watching and wondering, man, does she really have that kind of commitment and dedication? Now, this isn't Big GWOAT right after the Olympics, where if somebody would have said that, I would have immediately shot that down. Like, y'all, how the hell could y'all say something like that? But this is Big GWOAT after drinking, after smoking, after pulling her chair right up to the buffet line and eating General Tso's chicken, orange chicken, and mugu gai pan and all that shit and garlic beef. You know, this is that Big GWOAT. You know what I'm saying? Not being disciplined, you know, ballooning up in between fights. So maybe she may have needed a little help to start to bring that weight down. So has the body formation, has the body transformation, has it been dramatic? I mean, it kind of seems that way. But if she started, you know, 12 weeks ago, that means she already started working on getting the metabolism up and just, you know, making little weight loss milestones, you know what I mean? So I'll say this. If she's, no matter what she's doing, for me, it doesn't matter. Okay? But if she can get her weight down to 160, if she's doing it while she's on some kind of weight loss drug, I want to, what are the pros and cons? But if she doesn't do it without the weight loss drugs, then we should be all good, right? Because I'm listening to what the people are saying. Everyone's talking about these modern weight loss medications, the Ozempic, the Mounjaro. I've heard of Ozempic. I've never heard of Mounjaro, but now I know about it. And I understand that could explain the rapid transformation in Claressa Shields' physique, because she does look different now. But I also understand, just like I was saying, look, you know, she spent 2 decades as an elite boxer. She understands nutrition. She understands weight cutting, fight preparation, meal preparation, almost better than anyone else. So that being said, I want to try to talk about the sweet science behind some weight cuts. If the risk with her losing, I believe, is over 40 pounds to get to 160. And whether speed can replace size and how power is generated in boxing, because she talked about that. She should be able to come down in weight, maintain her speed, it'll be faster, and maintain her power to what she had at a heavyweight. Sounds like the shit I was saying when I was making all those Terrence Crawford videos about the importance of functional mass and everything. So she either listens to my videos or she working over there with Terrence Crawford and the snack guys to make sure she can still perform the way Terrence Crawford was able to perform while he was moving up in weight. The difference is she's coming down in weight. So that being said, let's talk about all that. Because I'm going to tell you, man, it's really interesting to me to think how power is generated in boxing and how Claressa Shields is hoping to maintain some of that power she had at heavyweight, because I know she wants to knock out Kaye Scott. Claressa needs a knockout. But my concern is the fatigue being the biggest factor against someone like Kaye Scott, who's naturally fit. You understand? Kaye Scott is naturally fit. So if Claressa thinks she's going to get in there and just blast Kaye Scott out the ring, I think she's going to have another thing coming, especially if she's using the magical weight loss drug to cut weight instead of doing it, what I would say, in a more healthy manner. So the science behind losing 40 pounds. You see, when you gain over like 30, 40 pounds in between fights, that's a problem. But now when you're trying to go from 200 pounds to over 200 pounds to 160, that's an even bigger problem. Okay, because it's not simply losing weight. It's changing nearly every system inside the body. People don't understand this shit. You know, Mike calls in, the retired cop, and he and I go back and forth talking about all this because I used to box. I was an athlete. I ran marathons. I used to cut from 200 to 160 for fights. He was a wrestler. He would cut weight. He was an athlete. He was a bodybuilder. I used to lift a lot of weights. Wasn't a bodybuilder. But I mean, I was benching 385. I was in really good shape. Had all the, the muscles popping. So we understand. But for those who don't understand, every system inside the body changes when you're cutting weight, especially with Claressa over 200 pounds to 160. Muscle glycogen, body fat, hydration, hormone balance, nervous system efficiency, cardiovascular performance, and recovery capacity. All of this shit is affected. Every pound affects performance. So the challenge, what some people may think, is just all about making a number on the scale. The challenge is showing up the next night looking explosive. It ain't about making that weight for that moment in time. It's can you still show up and look explosive and look fast? And this is why fans are talking about Ozempic and Mounjaro. Again, I'm going to tell you, there's no evidence that she's using these medications, right? We're just having a conversation. But fans bring them up because the GLP-1 medications have become widely known for helping people lose weight relatively quickly. And Claressa, it does seem that the weight's coming off relatively quickly. You see, it's a difference in what she's doing and what Adrian Broner and Dean DeGrade are doing. They're showing you what they're doing every day. And you can see that their bodies are changing a little bit. But with Claressa, it's just like you look up one day and it's like, shit, the weight's gone. But the thing about these weight loss drugs, it reduces appetite, okay? We don't see Claressa eating a whole lot no more, almost like she has no appetite. So you can understand how people say she may be taking these drugs. They work by slowing stomach emptying, okay? Helping people consume fewer calories and improving blood sugar regulation. So for someone who needs to lose a lot of body fat, they can be effective under medical supervision. But when it comes to a professional boxer, the situation is more complicated, okay? And this is why I say I would hope Claressa got enough sense to not be taking none of this bullshit because she doesn't need it. She just needs to have some discipline. Now, as far as these GLP-1 drugs, how could they hurt a boxer? Even if legally prescribed, there are several potential performance concerns for an athlete using GLP-1. When it comes to these medications inside fight camp, all bad, no bueno. These drugs can contribute to loss of lean muscle if calories and protein are too low, difficulty eating enough to fuel intense training, reduced glycogen stores, lower training intensity, nausea, vomiting, dehydration, fatigue, slower recovery. So for a boxer preparing for championship rounds, underfueling can become a major disadvantage. Claressa hasn't been showing a lot of videos of her eating. She may be underfueling because she's taking these drugs that take control of her body and force her to stop doing certain things that she needs to do. But as a result, she gets down to that weight for a moment of time, but she won't be as explosive, fatigue can set in, and she won't be as fast. But at the same time, can those weight loss drugs help? Potentially they could. You know, you look at Claressa, do you think she had significant body fat to lose? Do you think she had a whole lot of weight that she had to lose? If she says she started the camp early, 12 weeks out, that tells me she had significant fat to lose. So I would say yes. So what this drug is trying to reduce that fat, but it sounds like with the diet, now I don't know if she has a nutritionist. I don't know what she has. I just know she's losing weight. But if she's taking that drug and she doesn't have a nutritionist there to make sure that she's getting the right amount of, grams of protein and calories and the right kind of carbs and the right kind of fats, right kind of nutrition, right? If she's not doing that, she's going to have problems because she's going to compromise muscle. And it's nutrition is probably the most important ingredient to Claressa's weight loss, especially if she's using those drugs, man. Because where she's used to seeing improvement when it comes to being in training camp and getting in shape, she can notice a degradation in her performance. So speed, endurance, movement, agility could be improved if done right, the right way with the drug, but it could be all those things could be compromised if not done the right way. But I just think the key challenge is preserving muscle and training quality through the cut, but it has to be done under the supervision of a doctor, a nutritionist, strength and condition coach, etc. I'm not seeing these people. It just looks like she's hot winging it. But again, she may be working with a team like this. I don't know. All we know is it seems to be a magical weight loss going on. So you may say, all right, that's cool, Hood. You gave us all this shit. How long should it take for someone to go from 200 to 160 pounds, a woman in particular? I'm going to tell you this, man. 40 pounds is a substantial amount of weight. That's a lot of weight. A commonly recommended pace for preserving muscle is about 0.5 to 1% of body weight per week, with adjustments based on the athlete, body composition, and professional supervision. For someone around 200 pounds, that often translate to roughly 1 to 2 pounds per week on average, and that at that rate, losing 40 pounds could reasonably take 20 to 40 weeks. Some athletes may lose weight faster early in a diet due to restrictions of water and glycogen, but relying on rapid loss for the full 40 pounds increases the risk of losing muscle and harming performance. So it's telling right here 20 to 40 weeks. Claressa just told us that she started 12 weeks out, the 7 weeks remaining, that gives her about 20 weeks. So she's, instead of, it says 20 to 40. So Claressa's going the direction of relying on rapid weight loss. You understand what we just did right there? She is going the rapid weight loss route, which could mean she could be on this Ozempic, this Mounjaro, whatever it's called. She could be on these weight loss drugs. And if that's the case, she increased the risk of losing muscle and harming performance. Kaye Scott has a chance, people. She has a chance. Now, what I'm telling y'all, man, isn't my opinion. I've done some research and put together some talking points for you. Now, remember, there's no proof that Claressa's on anything. All we know is she's come here to try to accelerate her weight loss. 20 to 40 weeks. I would think 30 weeks would be the sweet spot, but she's doing it in 20. So that tells me all bad. And elite fighters also perform a short-term water cut in the final days before weigh-in, but that's different from losing body fat. And we need to understand that. So what happens when you cut too fast? The body starts to compromise, making compromises, you know what I'm saying? It begins conserving energy. Recovery slows. Muscle protein breakdown can increase. Explosiveness may decline. Reaction time can suffer. Even mental sharpness can decrease. The scale may show some success, but the ring might reveal the cost. And this is why we've been saying Kaye Scott has a chance. So can Claressa keep what little bit of heavyweight power that she had? Look, I want to just say this. Power isn't determined only by body weight. Power comes from several factors working together: technique, timing, hip rotation, balance, coordination, fast twitch, muscle recruitment, strength relative to body weight. Some fighters actually punch harder after slimming down because they move more efficiently. Others lose noticeable power because they've sacrificed too much muscle or energy. The outcome depends on how the weight was lost, not just how much was lost. So again, how is she losing the weight? Not just how much, but how is she losing it? Losing it rapidly could be all bad for Claressa. She already is not a hard hitter. But to come down now, when Kaye Scott doesn't have to worry really about any power at all, and maybe Claressa's speed isn't what it was, all of a sudden Claressa's in a competitive fight with Kaye Scott, who's natural and in shape year-round. The talent gap is closing, folks. It is closing. So can Claressa become faster during this weight cut process? I think I keep talking about functional mass. That's muscle for a purpose. But carrying less non-functional mass can improve hand speed, foot speed, agility, acceleration, endurance. If strength is maintained while excess weight is reduced, a boxer can improve their power to weight ratio, making them feel quicker without necessarily becoming weaker. But again, losing weight rapidly can adversely affect these things. Now, is it possible to gain speed without losing power? Absolutely. You can gain speed and not lose power. And a lot of all-time greats improved after moving to a more natural weight. The key ingredients include, though, for her, she can't be on this magical weight loss drugs because she needs to preserve muscle. She needs to maintain maximum strength. She needs explosive resistance training, medicine ball work, plyometrics, sprint intervals, excellent nutrition, adequate recovery. If those pieces stay in place, speed can increase while much of the power is retained. But the biggest problem is going to be in the later rounds. Power isn't only about round one. Championship fights require carrying that power into 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, the championship rounds. So if the weight cut leaves a fighter underfueled, which it sounds like that could be what's happening with Claressa Shields, the effects often become more noticeable as the fight progresses. And this is with Kaye Scott, who probably has a second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth win. Shit kicks in, and now she's up and away, putting them Australian bing bings all up in Claressa Shields' mouth, all up in her mouth. And when fatigue sets in and that shit builds up, punches start to lose snap, footwork slows, reaction time increases, your guard drops, defensive awareness decreases, punch output falls, decision-making becomes slower. The stronger, fresher fighter often begins to take over, and this is where I think Kaye Scott's going to have a chance. So look, she does benefit. She does benefit from what's going on. Many observers feel Kaye Scott's biggest advantage could be entering the fight already accustomed to competing around that weight, potentially requiring a less demanding cut. If one fighter arrives with less physiological stress, when it comes to making weight, they may have more energy available on fight night. And that's what I'm saying. Kaye Scott may be that woman. Doesn't mean that determines the outcome and she's going to win. It just, again, you got experience, skill, tactics, and composure. That matters enormously, and Claressa has that. But conditioning late in the fight can become a key factor, and that's what Kaye Scott has. So you got to be fair in tabling a discussion like this. Claressa should be the favorite, but you just don't know. And we won't know till fight night because experience still matters. You know, Claressa's been at the highest level as an amateur, as a pro. She can handle pressure. She can make adjustments, stay composed, win rounds. She can pace herself. But those strengths are developed over years at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? But right now, if she's taking these weight loss drugs again, the rapid weight loss could affect all that. So who has the better chance of winning this fight? Look, I'm going to just tell you right now. If Claressa arrives fully hydrated, maintains her strength, preserves muscle, enters camp healthy, and exit camp healthy going into fight week, then the weight cut alone doesn't necessarily reduce her chances and could even make her quicker at 160. So she has a really good chance of winning the fight. However, if that cut is too aggressive, what it seems to be in my opinion, and she leaves out of that weight camp completed and enters fight week depleted, she risks losing the fight. All of a sudden, the punch resistance goes down, work rate is lower, diminished power, slower recovery between rounds, and greater susceptibility to fatigue. Claressa can't afford to allow that to happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, conversely, when it comes to Kaye Scott, if she enters the ring already, well adapted to the division, which she is, and maintains a high pace, she could try to exploit any signs of later fading on Claressa Shields' behalf. And next thing you know, we'll be looking at Kaye Scott, in a very competitive fight, but she may edge it out and get the victory. So again, these are just, it's all hypothetical scenarios. And that's what we do on this channel. We just have conversations. But I really think at the end of the day, depends on who perform, how they both perform on fight night, and who finds a way to win and who finds a way to lose. And right now, I'm telling you, I don't know who it is. I'm being honest with you. I need to do another video on Kaye Scott apologizing to her, saying that she's damaged goods and she doesn't stand a chance. No, she stands a chance. See, we're learning more and more information every day. Kaye Scott stands a chance. Oh, she stands a real chance. So, in my final thought, I think the fight may ultimately hinge on which version of Claressa enters the ring, because she's supposed to be the favorite. But I'm just saying, if the weight loss was carefully planned over many months with muscle preservation, proper nutrition, and a structured rehydration strategy, the move back to 160 can make her faster while retaining a lot of her effectiveness. However, if the cut was too aggressive and compromised recovery, the later rounds could become significantly more challenging. And that's a fact, Jack. So it could be Ozzy, 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 oi, 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 all up in Claressa Shields' mouth, all up in her mouth. But until fight night, those questions remain open. Any claims about specific methods, such as the use of weight loss medications, should be treated as speculation unless supported by credible evidence. That's just what I'm doing. I'm trying to be responsible. But at the same time, you got to have a conversation, because I've heard multiple people saying this. So I just want to try to break it down. So I don't know if her being on anything. Could she be? Yeah, it's possible. But I mean, I don't know. And it's not, I don't think they're banned. But they may be. I don't know. But I'd want to, as much as Claressa get on our nerves, I just would think she would be doing things naturally. And that's why she started the weight camp, the fat girl camp, so early, to get that weight off. But again, 20 to 40 weeks to lose 40 pounds. She's losing it rapidly. Makes you wonder if she may have taken something kind of early in the camp just to kind of help fast track getting some of that grease off her. Anyway, I'm sure she'll watch the video and put a post out there or a tweet or something talking shit. People saying I'm on weight loss drugs now. Man, please. Now they talking shit. Now it's this. Who knows what they're going to come up with next? Well, hey, you're the one losing over 40 pounds in 12 weeks. So what people supposed to think? You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.